UFC Vegas 107 only has 11 fights, which means we are one mishap at weigh-ins away from only having 10, which means our options are pretty limited while trying to make some money and watching these fights. But Underdog Fantasy remains one of the best options available. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, you come in here, you say higher or lower than any of the numbers you see on the screen, you slap a few of them together, and you can make some very real money. It's a ton of fun. It's super easy. It's wildly flexible, and they will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog, use promo code WWP, and you have all sorts of free money options. wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. Depending on when you're watching this, you may be able to see some of the NBA final lines. If you wait a little too long, some of those games are gone, or the finals haven't started yet. It's just a divisional series. Either way, anytime you get the big time sports stuff going on, if you go to the homepage, you will see some bonuses and promos. So if you head over to NBA, you head over to favorites, you head over to those options, depending on the day and the games available, you may have some really cool, free, essentially, promos that you could add in. I'm going to focus on UFC, obviously, UFC Vegas 107 specifically. So let's go ahead and build this entry. But again, if you haven't gotten the free money, what the hell are you doing? Risk-free. wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. Now, I open this by saying we don't have a ton of fights, which means our options are a little more limited than if we did have a ton of fights. We had some short notice replacements, some last minute switcheroos. We're going to work with what we've got here. If I take a look, Erin Blanchfield, if I look at her fantasy points, 68.55, the higher there should be good. And if we just click this little I here, it'll tell us, right? Significant strikes are 0.5 point. Takedowns are 5 points. If she wins and finish, she'll get all sorts of bonuses. I'm going to leave this alone. The only reason I'm going to leave it alone is I think there's some other lines I like. And if you go check out the Prize Picks video, I do trust that over more because they score points a little differently. But we're going to go ahead, leave that Erin Blanchfield line alone. I do think the fantasy score over should be good. I don't like anything on the Macy Barber side. We're going to be very, very careful here. What I do like, though, is the more on fight minutes for Gamrot. Listen, Gamrot's the least dangerous fighter in the division. He's basically Grant Dawson, except worse, because Grant Dawson has found a few finishes. Mateusz Gamrot is a solid wrestler, tons of takedowns, lots of scrambles, always doing something, except finishing. So I do think this goes to a decision. Ludovic Klein can be dangerous, but the reality is Ludovic Klein is also a type of guy that will out-technique you, he'll outstrike you, but he's not really just going to bang, two-punch, knock you out cold. What he will do is piece you up, touch you up, get you a little bloody. Mateusz Gamrot's get dropped in every single fight, but he doesn't get finished. He somehow survives, starts diving at legs. I think we're good for this fight to go the distance, so the over 14.99 should be safe there. If we work our way down, obviously Billy Ray Goff is now fighting Ramiz Brahimaj, son of a last-minute slap together we got going on here. I'm going to leave this alone. If we had the lower on the finish for Ramiz, I would hit that, and by the time you're watching this, you may have that option. The closer we get to the fights, the more and more options you have. So right here you see Ramiz Brahimaj, half a finish. The higher is juiced. If you get the lower as an option, hit that. And I love doing that. I think they've wised up a little bit. We were absolutely cleaning up, just printing free money, taking all of the dogs, doing the lower on half a finish, and we were just literally cleaning up. We couldn't miss. We stopped getting a lot of those lower finish lines for the dogs, but in case those pop up closer to fight night and you're watching this, go ahead and grab you one. We're going to work our way down to Kurt Hollabaugh. We, as of this moment, only have one line here, and it's 36.5 significant strikes. I am going to do the higher. I think this is a fight where Kurt Hollabaugh is not going to get finished by Jordan Levitt. I understand how dangerous of a grappler Jordan Levitt is, but I also understand that Kurt Hollabaugh is a very good, accomplished grappler in his own right, so I don't see him getting submitted. What I do see is Kurt Hollabaugh just moving forward, trying to land as many strikes as humanly possible on Jordan Levitt. Whether he wins or loses, I think he gets past this number. He's gotten past this number before. He got past it in his last fight. So I think he gets past this number. If we move over to where it says higher, lower here, and you click that, you'll see there's a choice for Rivals. What Rivals does is it takes the fighters who are fighting each other and it establishes a line. As of right now, as of this filming, we have significant strike lines. Closer to fight night, you get some takedown lines potentially and some other lines to work with, but we will stick here with the significant strike line. And you'll see some of these fighters have a plus number and the other one doesn't have any. What that's saying is whoever's going to land more significant strikes here, make your choice. So we have Bruno Silva, Dustin Jacoby. I think Dustin Jacoby is going to land more significant strikes. They do as well, which is why they are giving Bruno Lopez a 14.5 strike head start. So Dustin Jacoby is going to need to land 15 more significant strikes than Bruno Lopez in their fight for this line to hit. And I think he does that. I think he's way ahead in the striking. I think he lands way more strikes. So I think we're good there. And that's what we're going to do with our entry. But let me go back to the normal slate. We'll go back to higher, lower, and we'll take a look at some of these lines. And then my event simulator. If you go to my website, WeWantPicks.com, and under tools in the menu, we have an event simulator. What this event simulator does, it simulates these fights 100,000 times. What I had it do was simulate all of these fights. I then selected my fighter, Rayanne dos Santos, and I selected what I wanted to see, which was significant strikes. And what it did is simulated these fights 100,000 times, and it gave you the outputs of those simulations. And it gave you the average significant strike line that Rayanne lands both in wins and losses. This is the average across those 100,000 simulations was 38.25. If we go back to Underdog and we go look at Rayanne dos Santos and we take a look at what her line is, and here it is. Her line is 60.5 significant strikes. So we're going to go ahead and move this plot line over. And we're going to get it to as close to 60.5 as we can. This is 60.6. This is saying 77.7% of the time in these simulations, Rayanne lands fewer than 60.6 significant strikes. In theory, we would click the lower, add this to our lineup because that's what the simulation says. If you want to check out that event simulator for every single one of these lines and a million other things, it's at WeWantPicks.com. If you're not a member, just click become a member. It's $10. You unlock all of it. If you are a member, under the DraftKings in the menu, actually, you'll see the event simulator, but it's far more valuable than just DraftKings. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here is the entry that we built. We have Mateusz Gamrot more on the fight time. Kurt Hollaball more on his significant strikes. Then we went over to Rivals, and we picked Dustin Jacoby even with the 14.5 handicap. Get your free money. If you like this entry, great. Hey, thank you. If you don't like this entry, that's fine. You can still go ahead and build your own using my tools or your own insight. You can mix and match sports. Get the free money. WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP.